Hello and welcome back to Let the Credits Roll, where we have a little out of the blue short today because I have received in the post a little surprise package from Rob that apparently contains a bunch of films that we also will probably cover at some point on the podcast.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely be covering them.
And yeah, is there anything you want to say about the package before I open them up?
So basically, when I'm bored at work, I tend to look on eBay and I see, bits of deals on cheap Blu-rays, and I cycled through and I thought, you know what, like, there's a couple of these that I actually don't own, but I'd like to show Liam. So then I thought, I wonder if there's any sort of like deals going on in eBay.com, and I found the exact same films for a similar deal on there. So I thought I'll buy them for me, and I'll buy them for him, and he won't know about it. He has absolutely no idea what's coming,
Not a clue.
so this is like fresh off the press. He's going to be opening the package live on the short here, and you're going to see his reaction, like, first and foremost to what he's received, basically. But I also did send him another one which he knows about, which I believe is sitting right in front of him
Yeah,
as well.
man's right now.
Yep, that is Hard Boiled, which is 1991, I think. It's a John Woo film. Most people who watched it like class it as like one of the greatest like action films of all time. I would certainly put it up there. It's just absolute. It's kind of like, in a way, a precursor to John Wick. I would say, like, there's very much like the gun fu, as they call it, is very much like taken from this kind of film. Maybe a little storyline, because Hardball's about a cop, and obviously John Wick is, an underground assassin. A little bit different, but the whole, like, just shoot
Action.
everyone, massive shootouts, just set pieces all over the place. Like, it is like the foundations for John Wick, basically. I can't wait for him to watch it.
Yeah, on the back of the case, it says it was his last triumphant crescendo of his films before emigrating to the US for his new career in Hollywood.
Yeah. So but a little bit of trivia. So he'd done before this film loads of like Yakuza, like triad sort of films,
Yeah.
and he wanted to make a film that sort of like appreciates, I guess, I don't know what you would call it. Like, he wanted to like show the other side of like the action star, where it's not just the bad guys, the good guys are fucking cool as well, sort of thing. And yeah, he's right. This film is fucking cool.
Yeah, it does say on the back that after a string of popular films glamorizing hitmen and moral gangsters, Wu turned his sight on the police. And then it also says, to pretty much sum up your John Wickness, it says, and in typical John Woo fashion, it's going to explode in an epic, over-the-top, balls to the wall, no time to reload climax that's sure to satisfy the most jaded action fan. So
Honestly, like,
that's pretty
it
good
is.
description, though.
If you look on like lists and stuff that people compile on the internet, like, this always pops up as like an action film. If it's like a proper like deep cut list, like, not like, like Fast and Furious is the fucking best action film ever. Like, if you're actually a connoisseur, would put this on the list.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that the front case isn't the IMDb image, because I love that IMDb image. It makes me feel it's just
Oh,
hilarious.
the woman,
He's holding the
the one with the
baby and the
baby,
shotgun.
like, yeah, my DVD was that. Like, God, I've had
They
this in
show a little
awful.
version of it on the back, but I just love that picture so much. But no, I'm really looking forward to this one. I obviously love John Wick, so, and just full on action. Looking forward to this. It'll be my first, well, to my knowledge, move into John Woo's world.
John Woo is like a fantastic director.
Oh,
He did
yeah.
Mission Impossible 2, actually.
Yeah. Well, they're films that me and Miranda are going to watch through, actually, because I've seen one a couple of times years ago, but I don't really remember it, so I've not really seen many Mission Impossibles, or I think I've seen like 4 at random as well.
The Mission Impossible films are fantastic. I will say there was like major like studio interference, I believe, with 2, so it is the weakest one.
Yeah.
But like his like style still flows through it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, without further ado, I suppose, well, let's get the the
Oh,
package opening
thank God.
underway.
I've literally had this like 3-4 days just sitting there, and I hate I banned my wife from letting me know there's presents because I just hate not being able to open them. So I don't know if you can hear that round. We're opening. Ah! Actually, I don't want to look inside. I just pulled them out randomly. All right, so
Okay.
number one is Pineapple Express, which
Pineapple Express is fantastic. I don't know if you've ever seen
I
it.
haven't seen it, but I have heard a lot about it. Like I know people think it's hilarious.
Honestly, like I don't watch many like stoner comedies as they're called, but Pineapple Express is just like it's just mental. Like it's just so stupid, but like it's just pure chaos. It's great.
Yeah, well, on the front it says "Put this in your pipe and smoke it," which I think will probably summarize its whole thing.
I'll give you like a quick summary without like so basically about you got Seth Rogen plays like a sort of like I guess like I can't remember, it's been a while, like an office worker buys his weed from James Franco, who's like, you know, the stereotypical, yeah
Yeah.
man, just come and like, you know, chill out with me, like, you know, smoke a bit, you know, we're more than just, you know, drug dealer and buyer, you know, we're friends. And so anyway, like he's kind of like opposed to it in a way. Seth Rogen is. He's a bit like he's a bit of a dickhead in this, as he is usually.
hmm
And so one, that's it. He's not an officer worker. He serves people like notices for calls or whatever they call them. And so he's sitting in his car one night, and he's about to serve someone, and he sees like a murder, and so he runs to his drug dealer's house because he's got nowhere else to go, and they just go on this like massive adventure. He's like, "Oh God, we're gonna get away! They've seen me. We're gonna get away, man!" Okay, because he drops his weed outside, like he drives off in a hurry, and he's like, "You're the only person who sells Pineapple Express." And I dropped it out there. They're gonna know it's you. We gotta go, like that sort of thing.
Oh man, yeah. It's a film
So
I've always
yeah,
heard about, and I've always heard of like it. People speak of this in the same vein as sort of Knocked Up, and that's another one I haven't seen
yeah.
that is meant to be really funny, but again, not seen.
It's like Seth Rogen's like peak era when he did like Superbad, Knocked Up,
hmm
this. It was like you know, his prime, like prime time Seth Rogen.
And that's kind of good because I feel all the films we've done so far that'll be on sort of a refresher and yeah, a little bit of
Palette
stupid
cleanser.
comedy.
Palette
Yeah,
cleanser.
we've had a lot of Apes Trilogy and Scarface and Hero and you know these big films that we're gonna cover. So it's probably nice to have a little break from that.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, next up,
Next one,
what the fuck? Lockout. I've not even heard of this one.
Lockout. Right. So this one is a real deep.
Okay.
This is a deep cut of mine. This is so this film. I'm gonna be straight up. Like it's not like it. I'm not gonna be praising like I'm not gonna be putting out any lists or anything like that. It's just like one of those like fun, entertaining like action films, kind of in the way when we did Lost Boys, and you know it's just a film that I enjoyed at the time. You know I've got it. I've probably only watched it a handful of times. It's basically Escape from New York, but in space. So I think before we end up going to watch this one, we will have to watch Escape from New York first, just so
Yeah.
you can see the comparisons.
Well,
But yeah,
on the box, it lists like 5 films. So it'll be nice to know if it's just trying to just set itself being linked to those films or it's any because that first one it says from the producers of Taken. Now Taken is one of my favourite films. Like absolute
yeah. So
classic.
the guy who produced
Yeah, see the daughters in it as well.
Lockout, I think is Luke Besson.
Yeah.
I think he's the producer.
Oh no! Sorry,
Me.
because the next bit I'm
Oh,
about
maybe
to
not.
say is it says Luke Besson, director of The Fifth Element, which is a film I've enjoyed. So
Yeah, so I think Luke Besson is like highly involved in the production of this.
yeah,
But Fifth Element,
it
yeah.
mentions Taken, Fifth Element, and then it says Die Hard meets Blade Runner, and I love fucking Die Hard, and I love Blade Runner, so it's like really setting itself up now to be a fucking classic.
So the quick rundown is I can't remember exactly like how it kicks off. I think it's the president's daughter is trapped on like a space station where I think maybe like she was like a what do they call them, like an envoy or something, like you know
Yeah.
like doing the PR rounds, and I think it's like a prison or something. It's all like futuristic, and there's like a riot and the prisoners escape, and she's like trapped up there. So if I remember right, it follows the Escape from New York mantra where they get this like sort of anti-hero criminal, and they're like, you've got 24 hours to get her, otherwise, like the things in your head are going to explode, sort of thing. They basically just send him up to the space station, and he's got to find her and save her and bring her home. It's just like proper like popcorn flick,
Yeah,
but
like it's got
sometimes they're
sci-fi in it,
enjoyable.
futuristic, and mentions Taken, Blade Runner, Die Hard. Like it's got all the ingredients for something I'd enjoy. So
Yeah.
it'd be good to see if it is. I've not even heard of it, so that's pretty cool. I love that on the box there's like 4 or 5 films listed that are all big popular films that I actually have seen for once. So it's nice for people to know I have seen films before. But
That's true. Yeah, you're not a complete caveman.
yeah, it's crazy the films I haven't seen, but I feel like I've seen a lot of films. Okay, all right, next up.
Next up,
Oh, we've spoken about this one before. True Grit.
True Grit. Yep.
Yeah.
I know you said you wanted to do some westerns, and
Yes.
True Grit is considered like one of the greatest like remakes of a western of like the past like 20, 30 years.
I remember I
And I
almost
thought,
watched this not long ago, and I swear I messaged you saying, "Oh, I was going to watch True Grit because it just came out on something," and then I never did. So,
Mom, I do remember these things every now and then. Like, I take notice.
you're a caring
And
husband.
I knew you said you wanted to do some westerns, and
Oh
I thought,
yeah, I especially want to get into the Eastwood world of things as well.
yeah.
But yeah, True Grit I've heard is one of the best.
There you go. Now you have it.
All right, we got some more here. Ooh, The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Now this is the one where I said to you, like, as soon as you pull it out, you'll know this is the one I want to
Yeah,
roll.
but the thing is, I believe I've seen this film, and I believe I
Really?
saw it
Oh,
in the cinema, and all I can
you saw it in the cinema.
and all I can tell you is I can't remember a fucking thing. I literally don't remember. All I remember
mate,
is
like,
at the start. I swear that it's at the start. I've got like an image of a desert in my head for some reason, and people like in a bunker, and someone stares at a goat, and maybe it explodes. I'm not sure.
yes. So, like, you've surprised me there that you've seen it, but the fact that you don't remember anything about it,
Yeah, I literally
just revisiting
can't
it with
recall
you
it
is going to
at
be
all.
great.
To the
It
point
is
where
fucking wild.
I don't know anything about this film, and I'm pretty sure I've either seen it or I saw a trailer. Or maybe I just saw the trailer in the cinema. And I'm getting it mixed up.
It's one of those films
I think I saw the
where you
trailer.
can just tell by looking at the case for it, like the fact that it's called The Man Who Stared at Ghosts, and then you look at the actors in the film, and
Yeah,
sometimes I was just like, they must have just thought, you know what, fuck it, we'll do this as a piss take.
yeah. I
Because I
think
mean,
maybe I
there's
just
some
saw the
pedigree in
trailer
that
and it
film.
just lived with me. I think that might be it because I feel like I would remember this.
It's absolutely crazy. I can't wait. I remember actually, I watched it with my mum, and even my mum was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Wait a minute. It says disc 2 is a digital copy of the film. How does that work?
I would be.
How can there be a digital
Well,
copy on a disc?
it's like a ultraviolet thing. I think you put it into your computer and it
Simply
picks
insert
up
DVD,
like.
and then you transfer it. I've never seen a digital way of doing that before, like that before.
It was called ultraviolet discs. It was all the rage back in the day. I mean,
Wow.
it's probably that like service is probably dead by now.
Oh,
Let's be real.
probably. But there you go. Right. I feel like I've got 2 more in here. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, 3 more maybe.
500 Days of Summer.
500 Days of Summer. Now I don't know if you've seen this one.
I actually think I have seen this one. Yeah. I don't.
I like this one.
I just I think at the end she just spoilers if anyone wants to watch 500 Days of Summer, probably years and years after it's out, that she just fucks off and that's it. She's just gone, and then
The whole reason why I wanted
he's like
to do
trying to
this one
find her again or something.
is basically it's like a film from like a man's point of view with like a guy who's like really into the girl, and she starts off being into him, and then she's just isn't. And I think it's an interesting film because like most romance films and stuff like that, they're always from the female perspective. Like there's very rare there's like
Hmm.
films from like, the male perspective, and I think it'd be interesting to do a bit of a discussion on that.
Yeah, that's true actually, and yeah, I know I've seen it, and I just remember bits and bobs of just they love each other, yeah, and then she sort of just disappears, and I can't remember at the end. I feel like at the end he does like see her again, but I can't remember if they like get back together or I feel like that is she sort of says, "Nah, that's it now, like it's over."
I've got this film, this film, and there's another film in my head that I've got, which is called Ruby Sparks. And these are the two films that I think are really good from like a man's point of view, like for these kind of films.
Yeah.
So it's like a double header that we'll find Ruby Sparks at some point when we've done this one, and we'll look at both of them from the eyes of a man.
Really, of the most manliest man in the world.
Oh yeah, from the Barbarians.
All right, the last one, the Forbidden Kingdom. Oh my, it's old Jackie.
Now, I know this one will appeal to you.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but Jet Li and Jackie Chan together for the first time. Oh my god.
Essentially, this film, like you know me, I love my like Chinese fantasy sort of
Oh
films,
yeah.
and this films are basically about.
Sorry, there's a massive shock for the podcast. Oh, maybe it's in here.
Oh,
No. Oh, there's a DoorDash voucher. HelloFresh voucher. There's no disc. There's no disc in the Forbidden Kingdom. No, we've been done.
oh my god, you're joking
No,
me.
there's an envelope with a HelloFresh and DoorDash voucher, but there's no disc. What? There's no disc.
Oh my god. Alright, well, I'll have to get on to fucking. Well, well, you've got the case. We can discuss the case and then we'll
It's
figure
a
it
beautiful case, yeah.
out. I can't fucking believe
It's
that.
2-disc special edition, so with the digital film. I thought, oh, is it another one of those digital disc film things you just mentioned? No, there's nothing.
So there's no disc at all, none at all.
Nope.
Fucking hell.
It had to be the last one as well.
Well, I mean, you know, that's a bit of a shock for the podcast, but we'll figure that out. I'll get another one sent out.
I'm so upset. Don't you get a refund, Rob, and get the
Yeah, I fucking will do.
It says it was $3.29 on the case, which it might have been less than that now from wherever they got it from. But it says it's a book. It's marked as a book, and it also says sell your books back. So maybe I
won't be selling it back. I'll be getting the money back.
Yeah.
So anyway, like Forbidden Kingdom is basically about a guy who's like obsessed with like kung fu films and stuff like that, and there's like a little like old Chinese man store that he sort of hangs around in, and he's in high school, and he sort of gets bullied and like peer pressured into robbing this old man's store, and he tries to like stop it and like protects the old man, and the old man like gets hurt, and he's got like this like staff thing that he's holding, and when he picks it up, it basically sends him back in time to like feudal China, whatever they call it, and it's like a fantasy film where he has to find like Jackie Chan, and there's like the whole Monkey King and stuff like that. It's just like a big old fantasy film, sort of it's styled after the Never-Ending Story in the 80s, where it's just like, you know, kid goes to a fantasy land, has a coming of age thing, saves the whole thing, and then comes back. But it's like it's a chill film, and like it says on the box, it was the first time that Jackie Chan and Jet Li were in a film together.
Yeah, it's weird seeing Jackie Chan with super massively long hair that I believe look almost dreadlocky.
Oh yeah. He plays like the Drunken Master, which is like his original like 70s like sort of style.
Wow.
And yeah, I can't believe that.
I had real genuine excitement. It looked like Jet Li, Jackie Chan looks good, and then no disc. There's not even one of the 2-disc special edition. I don't even get digital one that won't work anymore. Apparently, it was inspected by Diabetic Gonzalez. So, if you're listening, Mr. Gonzalez,
he fucking did a shit job, didn't he?
Yeah, it's got a ticket number and everything. So if anyone knows Mr. D.
Do you know what?
Gonzalez,
Do you know
let
what he
him know
probably
we want
fucking
the
done,
film
right?
back.
He's inspected the discs, put them in like the Blu-ray player. Probably got caught up watching the film because it's such a good film, and then forgot to put the fucking disc in.
Yeah, enjoyed it so much you thought, you know what, I'm going to look see if there's a podcast about this film. It's great. No, there isn't, mate. There's no podcast because you stole my disc. Well,
Oh well, I mean, we've got plenty of to get through before we can get to that point. We'll figure it out. We'll get enough ones sent out. But yeah,
we'll get in touch with
so
Jackie
you
and
got
his
seven.
team. We'll get one sent back.
You got 7 films, and now leading up to whenever we go and record the podcast, you got to pick one that you want to do out of the 7 that you've got.
Yeah, well, it can't be the Forbidden Kingdom, so that narrows it down a bit. I feel like my heart kind of wants to go for Hard Boiled, but then the brain,
I mean, I'm happy for Hardball.
the brain sort of feels like with all the films we've done, maybe it's good to stick something a bit lighter in there. The Pineapple Express and The Men Who Stare at Goats. So,
like I say, I enjoy all of them, so I'm you pick, and then we'll go with it.
and part of me, for some reason, I'm really excited just because all of the hype that they've managed to put on the box is Lockout as well.
Lockout.
And I'd like to. Actually, this is something. If anyone has a view and has seen Maggie Grace, the girl from Beacon, in anything else, the one thing that always being taken is her run. When he knocks on the door and says she can go to Paris, it's the weirdest run I've ever seen in my life. No one runs like that. I don't know who directed that run, what her inspiration was for that run. I'd love to speak to Maggie about that run, but it almost ruins the film for me on its own, because other than that, it's my favourite film. One of my favourite
You know what?
films.
Like I have not watched Taken in a long time, but I know she was in Lost for like the first season or two, so maybe she runs like that in Lost. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to have a Maggie Grace running analysis short, because it just always irritated me from the first time I saw it in the cinema and I remember going to see it at the cinema actually because we were late getting in. We literally got in just as it kicked off, down in the old Brighton Marina. But yeah, so I'd like to see if because I'm assuming she has to run in this one. So running there, I will be on lookout,
do you know
and I
what?
will report back.
You know what? I own this film, but I couldn't tell you the last time I watched it. I don't even know when it came out. I think it came out maybe like 2013, 2014, something like that. And it may well be that in 2015 or something was the last time I watched it.
Well, it'll be like 8 years. So
Yeah, it's certainly it's been a long time. You know me, I've got fucking films everywhere.
I don't think you even know. I reckon you'll have duplicates of many films, not knowing you do.
There are a couple of films that I have like wondered when I've gone through them on eBay. I'm like,
Do I own
I
it?
think I own that, but I'm not sure.
You need like a spreadsheet library that you can sort
Well,
and
yeah, like
search it up.
when I'm like properly move into somewhere where like I can get all of my collection out of my storage boxes and whatnot, I'm gonna like literally have to like catalog everything and
Yep.
figure out where I'm at. Because I am thinking that I may be sitting on like 700, 800 films, like if I really was to like add it all
Yeah,
up.
you'll need to like as you walk into the room, there'll be a touch screen. You'll search the film you want. It'll come up with like a little library code. You'll walk down the
Yeah.
bookcases, pull it out, open it up. Disc is missing.
Oh, cool.
Complain to
I'm having
Gonzalez.
flashbacks actually. I'm having flashbacks to when I used to like lend my cousins like games and films, and then you
Big
never see
mistake.
them again.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking like, that's how the libraries used to feel, and that's how Blockbuster used to feel.
Yeah. Then we know how they went out
And
of
to be
business.
fair, that's how Love Film used to feel, because I used to say that they got lost in the post when I sent them back, but they didn't.
Nah, you would never do such a thing. What?
No. I would never admit that on an internationally like broadcast podcast. I would never do that.
Well, it wasn't Blockbuster for me. It was Video Box.
Video box.
I believe that was
I've
what
not
they were
heard of
called.
that.
Like that was my Video Box DVD rental. They must have been called Video Box.
I believe the rival to Blockbuster in America, since you are American born, raised, and
but sure.
yeah, Hollywood Video, I think it was called back in the day, as their rival.
It's annoying because I've tried to look
So,
up
yeah.
Video Box or whatever it was called, and it's just giving me US things, and it's annoying. I can't. What was it called?
I think
That's
it was
annoying
probably
me now.
just some like what it was probably some like one hit wonder down in Brighton that there wasn't a franchise.
Nah, it was a
I mean, it's
franchise.
the
Like
most
there was a top.
generic fucking name. Like, at least Blockbuster, like, sort of has a feel to it, you know? Blockbuster film, but video box.
Yeah, it was called Video Box Address. So it was. Yeah. It was called Video Box. So I can't seem to find anything about it online. I can write a review. Yeah, look here. It says Video Box is listed address, and it says category video and DVD hire and retail. Maybe it was a one-off, but all of it's like branding and stuff. It looked like it was legit. Like it looked like it was everywhere. I think it was a unique thing. What?
I've
That shocks
never
me,
heard
that
of it,
has.
so I mean, well, another shock for the podcast.
Well, if somehow out of the 1.25 listeners that will ever listen to this out there, let me know if you had a video box or if it was just me. Well,
Yeah, and on that note, I can't believe that I've been robbed. I'll have to get onto eBay for that.
Rob
But
has been
I'm
robbed. Yeah.
happy that you. Yeah, yes, I am. I'm happy that you appreciate the films that I've selected for you. It's
So
always
they're
a bit
all
of like
films
a
we should
will
definitely
you like
watch.
them? Yeah. Whenever like you
But
do
that's the thing. That's the
surprises,
thing about
like
the
do like
podcast or not as well, though. Like I don't like even whether I like them or not. That's also the part of the finding out process and watching it.
that is true. I mean, I have found a film actually. A film that I've watched a few times over the years. I wouldn't even. Can I really even call it a film? It's absolute. It is absolute shite. Like, and it knows it's shite as well. Like, it's like a real it's a real low budget horror film.
Mm.
And well, would I even call it a horror film? I don't even know what I would call it, but I just know that I want you to watch it. And the quality is not going to be great because it's like an out of print. I think it was like very, very, very rare, like to even be on DVD. I think you had to buy it from the guy's website. That's how like low budget it was. But I've watched it, and it's called Terratoons. And specifically, we want to
Wait,
watch
it's called
Terratoons
what?
2, which is Terror
Terrace.
Toons.
Oh god.
Terror Toons 2 is the one.
Oh my
It's
god. That's
basically
4 and a 1.5.
oh yeah, he's been trying to get the fourth one off the ground. I think it's on Indiegogo. But
Oh
yeah,
Jesus,
I
this looks
I
bad.
I kind of, in a way, when we watch this, I want to record the whole thing live. Like, I want us to watch it while we're recording because I want to see if you could stomach the entire film or whether we're gonna get to a point where you're just like, oh, Rob, I just can't anymore. Like, I just can't. And
Maybe we'll
that's
have to
what,
do like
like,
a live stream watch along.
yeah, because I know it's a fucking terrible film, but it's like it's so wild. Like just I can't even, without really showing you something. I can't really describe it. So, but I know that there is a very, very big chance that you might say, "Rob, I just can't go up anymore." So I think we need to do it live just to capture
You
that
know it's
moment.
bad when
Because
it's bad
yeah,
when they somehow improve by sequel. The first one's a 3, the second one's a 3.3, the third one's a 5.2, and 4 is 6. I mean, so like, they get better as they go somehow. Like they can't possibly make one worse than
I mean,
this, and they don't.
I think I did. I think I did have the first one on DVD at some point. I think it was one of those things I just picked up from CEX, like, and you're like, "Oh, what's this?" And that's sort of like how I became known to this franchise. And that one is truly low budget. We're talking like special effects made with like paint. It,
Uh,
yeah. We have to record it live because I know you, and I know like your tolerance for these kind of things
yeah.
doesn't exist. And even like 10 minutes in, you might get to a point where it's like I can't do it. But I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna make you. You're gonna have to watch at least like 45 minutes before I allow us to turn
I
it
think
off.
we need to come up with a list of the worst films we can think of. Even if there's any viewers out there as well, just tweet us the worst films you can think of, we'll just stick them in like the hat. We'll just draw one out. We'll just have to occasionally just watch some of the worst films ever.
Yeah, that sounds good to me, and this will be the start of that series.
So when I think of one of the worst films I've watched, and it comes to mind, and not everyone. I mean, no one thinks it's a great film, but I just genuinely thought it's one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life, and it's Lucy. Have you seen her, Lucy?
That's the one with
Scarlett
Scarlett Johansson, right?
Yeah. There's like
Yeah,
some
I
drugs.
think that
Oh
again.
my
Do you know
god.
what?
Morgan Freeman as
That's a
well.
Luke Besson film. That's a Luke Besson film. That
Oh
is.
my god, it is. Yeah. What's the chance of that? I want to watch his Lockout film now. Ah, I'll click on him now. See what else he's done. I'm gonna get myself down a hole here. He did
You are,
Taken
yeah.
2. He did all 3 Takens. Yeah.
To take and done for
Transporter
Valerian,
2.
which
Oh, he
absolutely
did
tanked.
Transporter, which I haven't watched.
I mean, Transporter is the first one's alright, but in the other ones, you don't really need to bother with that.
Yeah. Screenplay for the Fifth
2012
Element.
Lockout, so we could even be touching on like 10 years since I've watched Lockout.
I mean, yeah. Well, the sort of
Well, on
setting,
that note-
sci-fi, futuristic thing, it appeals to me, but whether it's any good. Yeah, this was meant to be a short,
I mean, to be
but it
fair,
sort of turned out to be in a bonus
Yeah.
episode.
To be fair, Lockout does have a 6 out of 10 from 100,000 people on IMDb, which, considering everything, like that is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm now clicking on Maggie Grace to see how many films there are I can evaluate the running on. Because this is the only time ever in film or TV I've seen someone run and I've gone, what on earth was that? But yeah.
Mine does actually say here, before we finish off, in October 2015, John Carpenter won a plagiarism case against Luc Besson over Lockout, proving clear similarities to Escape from New York and Escape from LA. A French court ruled that enough similar distinctive elements from both films were borrowed to meet a sanction.
Oh my god.
Exactly what I said, like, it is
Yeah.
just space version of it.
Well, and Escape from New York and Escape from LA are 2 films I desperately want to see, so we'll definitely be watching those, covering those on the podcast at some point.
And on that note, then, I'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.